Test. It's talking airline. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of the web page, and I'm actually going to start by just talking about, have you done any web stuff before at all?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to get it, and hopefully by the end you'll say, yeah, this is doable. That's my goal.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll make it doable.
Okay.
I have a question, though.
Okay.
Is this internal or for
probably end up being both, but right now it's external. We'll probably have you work on both, okay, but it's definitely external.
Okay.
So the first thing is just a general thing about web pages. I'm just going to disappear this for a minute. So, and I'm going to use Microsoft Word as an example.
Yeah.
You know, when you use Microsoft Word, it's like if I wanted to bold that word, you know, you double click on the V, it bolds it.
Okay.
Okay. There's things that are happening, obviously, in the background that are telling my computer to bold that word. And when I send you the file and you open this, there's something in the background of Word, some kind of coding that we don't see that makes the word like get bold.
Okay.
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 That's normally when we're dealing with Microsoft Word and our Microsoft programs, it's not, we don't even have to think about it. But in website, you do, because, and I don't know if you've ever had this experience. Like sometimes when I'm working in Word and I see a sentence and I put the cursor here and I start typing, and sometimes it bolds for me, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, I have that trouble when
right.
I woke up. Oh my God.
Right. So then it bolded, you know. But
yeah.
but if I put it too far and I'm going the A, then it doesn't, and then sometimes it gets a little confusing.
Very confusing.
Okay. So the long story short, and actually let me just show you in web page. And this is why web page stuff can drive you nuts. You'll never have to do this, but like when I do a lot of looking at, okay, how is that word actually bolded? So if we were looking at this as on the web,
yeah.
this is instructions to the computer saying bold that word. And so when it says strong, that means bold.
Okay.
So if I change, so right now this is set up so it looks just like that. So I guess the takeaway is that if I ever want to make a change and I want to make sure that it changes right, I always, when I do web stuff, will put my cursor in the middle of the word and edit it. And I don't know if you ever do that, but I do that even sometimes in Microsoft Word. So if I want to change like to love, rather than put the cursor here and delete this word and type love, when you do web stuff, that actually might mess it up.
Yeah.
So what I do instead is, and this is a good habit to get into, I'll put the cursor like in the middle of the word. And again, I'm teaching you this just as a safeguard. Okay, so that way, because this will cause you a lot less grief if you do it this way.
Yeah.
I'll put the cursor in the middle of the word and I'll say, I love apples, and then I'll just delete the rest.
Okay, well, let's decide that you don't want to do love in bold anymore.
Well, then I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Then it's just a matter of unbolding it.
Okay.
But like if I go, it's the same thing for hyperlinks. So let me just put it real quick. Hyperlink here in Microsoft Word. I don't know if you ever do hyperlinks in Word, but they're so fun. So now I have a link to this web page right here. If I wanted to change that word, and I change it out here to like, and I say I want to use like, just delete the hyperlink in 2 strokes. So in the same regard, it's always easier when you have a word that's hyperlinked, to put your mouse and use the arrows. I'll just go to the word and I'll fix it. And I'll say I really like, and then delete the 3 letters, and then come back here and delete that L, and now everything stays the way I want it.
And the hyperlink stays.
Yeah.
Can you do the hyperlink one more time?
Yeah, it's very cool. So if I wanted to link to this web page, so I copy a web page I like, okay, I go into Microsoft Word, and I go make sure the Insert tab is clicked. So I say I want apples, okay, and then I go Insert Hyperlink. And it opens up this little window here. It says Insert Hyperlink, and it says Address. And I can paste it. I can right-click paste, or I can hit Control-V, which also pastes it. So I Control-C here, Control-V, and then say OK. And now Apple goes.
So cool.
And that does it for email, too. So when you're in Outlook, if you ever want to alert somebody to something,
yeah.
you can do the same. I might as well just show you. So I go new message.
You send it to me.
Yeah, so hypers. So here are the pictures of apples. So I can come here, say apples, okay, go to images. So here's the page I want to send you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can select this whole thing. Go Control-C, so that copies that address. Go to here, and I want to link the word apples. So I double-click on it. Insert, hyperlink. And then I just hit Control-V where it says address. And now when you get this email, you'll be able to click on apples and see all these pictures.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, that's a nice way of sending. In fact, that's we have limits here in terms of how much stuff you can have on your email, like 750 megabytes. I don't know if you, but they just did that. So like I had to clean out my inbox because my inbox was too big. Well, one way of keeping your inbox down is use hyperlinks. Like I don't send you 20 pictures. I just send you the link.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have a folder that I keep applicant data in there, and Randy Spalding wanted me to send the applicant data, not all of it, but certain things.
So this is like, let's say I wanted to send you this folder.
Yeah.
Okay. So I open it up. Here's the folder I wanted you to send. I come up here, and I click once, and it shrinks it up. Okay.
Oh.
And then I copy that, and then I can say, here you go, Randy. And I can just paste it like that, and that's the folder. So he can find it that way. That's one way of doing it. Or I think you could also link to it. Let me try.
I tried.
So insert hyperlink, and let's try that. Let's say, here you go, Randy. So now when he clicks on it, it says, well, yeah, see it opens. Yeah. You can either do it that way, you could just paste it, or you could just,
Yeah, I'm going to practice.
Okay.
And maybe I could Google hyperlink and go through, if I get back to my desk and I forget.
Well, also, we have this on video. Hopefully I'm able to send you the video
okay,
so you can watch this again and remember how to do it.
Okay.
But again, the same thing. If I decide I actually want to send that to, Noreen, it's easier. Like if I type Noreen right there, I lost the hyperlink. So it's easier. I think it's easier more often than not. And I'm teaching you this now because this will apply to the web page. It's easier to actually put the cursor in the middle of Randy, type Noreen, okay, and then delete the letters around her. And now that link is there.
Aha.
See, if you do it, otherwise you lose things. And that's especially true with web stuff. So when we get into the web, when I teach you the web stuff, and you're messing with links, that's what you want to do. You want to put the cursor in the middle, and then you can change it however you want. You know? But don't, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm sending you that. Okay, so my goal is to show you how to log in to the web page and to show you how to make an edit and to hopefully you feel comfortable making a link and uploading a file.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we want to get to.
Awesome.
So I'm going to move this over here. And
can I ask a question?
Yes.
So any data that I'm going to be putting in here, and maybe this will come later, but okay, let's say I do a recruitment, and I need you guys to look at it. Karen's looked at it, but I need you guys to look at it. Once I input it in here, is it released, or is there going to be a button?
It's a button.
Okay.
You can't mess it up.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do to break it. No, there's nothing you can do to break it. So our old website is wasaclaw.gov. Okay. So in fact, let me just go there. So it's WASAC. I'm just going to go to our website. Okay. Actually, I didn't paste there. But let me go here. Our current website. I shouldn't say old website. Our current website. Get rid of this. Because I'm just going to show you how to access the new website because it's not up yet. It will be up hopefully this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, hopefully Friday. Hopefully.
Oh, Thursday and Friday.
Oh, well then you'll see it when you get back. Hopefully.
All right.
That's our goal anyway. All right. So here's the current website.
Yep. Okay.
Eventually, maybe even by next week when you get back, when you go to this page, it'll look like our new one. But right now it doesn't.
Okay.
So to access our new one, you put the cursor right in front of the WWs, okay, and you type staging with a G. I don't even know why it is staging. And I put a period. So it's staging, period, and then that. It's just like a temporary site.
Okay.
Okay. So now when I press enter on that, in theory, it should work. Staging, WhatsApp, blah.gov. Maybe it doesn't like this hyphen. Let's see. Oh, whatever. That should have worked. Staging, WhatsApp, blah.gov. Staging. Oh, there's no www there. Okay. Staging, WhatsApp, blah.gov.
Did you put that in front of the WhatsApp?
Yeah, so it's staging. I'll send you this.
Okay.
Just so that way you don't have to do that. It should have worked. Immediately it didn't. So, Alicia, website.
I think this is going to be fun.
It is sort of fun, and having you help with it is going to make it nice.
And I'm going to be doing recruitment or HR.
Yeah, anything employment related and staff and the staff page is what we see. Okay, so this is, I'm going to move this over so that way we can actually see it on video in theory. All right, this is the new web page, okay? To access to where you can edit it, you come up here on the very top, right after the GOD, and there's a hyphen there, and you're going to type user, USER hyphen. And then press return. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to open up with a login page.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. And here's now this. It would be helpful for you to write down. Your username is your first name, and make sure I spell everything right. Alicia, and then your last name. ROLLIN.
ALISHA.
ALISHA.
Yeah.
Rollins. Okay. The password is, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
It's all lowercase. ED, exclamation point, T, PAGE. It's like edit page instead of the ISS.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so you put that in, you press return. And it opens up with this page. Now, before I go too much further, I want to see, because what I want you to show you something here. Yeah, I think you're logged in there. Okay, never mind. So let me show you here. All right. So this is what, when you log in, this is what it's going to look like. It says that you've been a member for 4 days. That's because I made this for you 4 days ago. It puts a black bar across the top. That's normally not there. This is what my black bar looks like. I got a lot of other things such that you don't have to worry about. I've reduced the number of things you have to do or worry about. Okay.
Nice.
And so now what I'm going to do is show you how to edit a page.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
On our video, will this page be on there? Okay.
In theory, if it's recording right now.
Okay.
I recorded with Karen and it didn't record the right way, so I'm hoping this works.
Okay.
If it doesn't, I'll help you as long as it takes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was down the hall. So.
Yes. Okay, so you can, I think, edit just basically means edit your name, that kind of stuff. If you know, you can do that kind of stuff. Like this.
Right.
It doesn't do much. But basically what you want to do is you want to go to the page that you want to fix. Okay, that's the first thing. So I am going to go to the staff page. I'm going to pretend like we just added a staff member.
Is that one of my pages?
So one of your pages is going to be About Us, Staff. In fact, all of your pages are under About Us. You're going to do Employment, for sure, and Staff.
Fun.
Okay, but there may be others, but those are the two we're starting with.
Okay, so we're going to do About Us. Now, where was Employment? I want to just see.
It's right here, under our agencies. So our people are agencies, so staff and employment. And we're going to pretend like we just hired a staff member, so we're going to add their name.
Okay.
Okay. So you go into the menu, you find the page that you want to work on. Okay. Now, this did this to Karen too, and I don't know why this happened, and it only happened once. It says page not found because it's putting the word user in front, and that should not be there. So I'm just going to, and it shouldn't happen, but it did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the word users. See that word?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to take it out up here. I'm going to just completely get rid of it and get rid of that extra hyphen, and then it will load the right way. I don't know why I did that.
Okay.
Okay. When somebody else, this is our staff page, it is going to look different. We're going to tweak it a little bit, but this is what we've got right now. When somebody else logs in, they don't see this information. You see this information because you've logged in now. Okay? So this is the page. When you want to make an edit of this page, you click New Draft. You'll probably see why they call it draft and not edit in a minute, but that's what they mean. It just means I want to edit the page.
Okay, we could do my name, or no, wait.
Are you on there yet? Let's see. Yeah, actually, we should do your name. You're on there. So let's do yours.
Try to do mine back on my desk. No.
Well, actually, yeah, let's do yours back at your desk. I'm going to add a fake name.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to say New Draft.
Okay.
Okay. And what's going to pop open is a place for you to edit the page. This is, and let me pull it up here just so you can see what it looks like so we can remember. About us, staff. Oh, stupid user thing. I don't know why it does that. It's really frustrating. So, quickly the user. Okay, you can see it looks a little different. You know, this is blue, this is gold.
But this is still what I can see.
This is what you're seeing right now. Okay. I just put this up here so you can see what looks different. Yeah, what looks different. So when I click on New Draft, this is the page that opens up. Okay. The only stuff, there's 3 boxes you're going to worry about. The big box, which is where all the stuff is, and then I'll teach you the other 2 in a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a good example of, well, first a couple things about web pages. So let's say I wanted to add Johnny Anderson, okay, and I'm going to put him down here right after Gary Allen.
Okay.
Okay. So one thing about web pages is that you want, by default, they're double spaced. So if I press return and I type Johnny, and then I type Sally, and then I type Rodrika, you see what's happening? They're all double spaced.
Yeah.
So you hold down the shift key to make single space. As you can see, Gary this is all single space in here. Yeah. So for Johnny, I'm going to
we don't want double space for his information.
So I'm going to say Johnny Anderson. I'm just going to type like normal.
Okay.
Hold down the shift, press enter. He is a computer specialist. Hold down the shift. Put in his phone number, 360-567-6987. Okay? Hold down the shift, put in his email. I'll just go ahead and do it. Now, because it will change to an automatic link. It'll change it to blue once we upload it. Okay? And now, here's a case of, remember I said delete carefully?
Yeah. See
where it says return to the top? I don't want to mess with that. So I'm just going to press the delete key until I get rid of that I in Frederica. There. Okay. I've added Johnny's name. Now, up here are tools that you can use to edit, sort of like Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
So I can, if I wanted to, I don't know where'd you go? Okay, let me go back up. If I wanted to make Johnny bold, I could. I can make him bold. Okay, I could underline it. I could italicize it. Okay, you can center it, right, justified. I don't see, you could end up doing bullets and numbers. Okay, this means tabbing over. And that's basically, and this is undo. And then we'll talk about links in a minute. But that's, you're only going to mess in here. It's just like Microsoft Word.
Okay.
You will never have to worry about this stuff over here.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, for now.
Yes.
We might add it later. So I've added a person. All right, now, once I have made the change, okay, I scroll down. Now notice that, let me move this out of the way a little bit. There's actually two scroll bars going on. This page has a scroll bar. It's a huge long page. And then there's the whole window scroll bar over here. I'm telling you that because that sometimes can get confusing. Like you could be down here editing Laura, and you're like, where's the bold button?
Yeah.
And you're like, gosh darn it, where is it?
Okay.
So you have to come over here and scroll up, and now you can see the bold button.
Okay.
See how that works?
Uh-huh.
So we added Johnny Anderson. So the big box is where you do your edits of typos and adding people, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Then you scroll. Now this is the second box you deal with. There's a box that says revision log message. In other words, this is where you tell me or the communications team what did you do. So I'm going to say I added Johnny Anderson's contact information. Something just to let us know what was fixed.
Okay.
Okay, and then the third and final box you worry about is this moderation state. In other words, and you have two choices. Choice number one, the default choice is draft. In other words, I'm just working on it, and I'm not ready for you to do anything with it yet.
Okay.
It means communications.
Okay.
The other choice is needs review, which means that communications will see it, and it's ready to be published once we see it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right. So here's the caveat with this. I don't use draft unless it's literally going to be, you're going to work on it first thing the next day. Because let's say you added Johnny's name, you saved it as draft, and you hit save, and you leave for 2 weeks. Now Katie or somebody else goes in and they start editing it, and now we've got two versions going on. Does that make sense?
Yes. It does.
So draft I would never use unless literally you are working on something at the end of the day and you got to go and you're going to work on it again first thing tomorrow.
But you could get delayed.
Chances are the chances are we probably won't go in and interrupt that workflow. But if it's longer than a day, then we could, and that could create havoc.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. So I added Johnny's name. That was the first box. I told you what I did. That was the second box. And then I said, now I'm ready for communications to look at it. That's the third box.
Okay.
Okay. Now I just hit save.
Oh.
So I hit save.
Okay.
It's going to pop back to the page we were just working on, and it's going to add a new button which says View Draft. There's Johnny right there. Perfect, exactly the way I want him. If I click on View Published, this is what people are actually seeing on the Internet. Johnny doesn't exist. Because we haven't updated it yet. Okay. If I make a mistake on Johnny's name, I can go to Edit Draft, and I said, oh, actually, it's Johnny, something else. Now, this is a frustrating thing about this program. It's also a good thing. If, let's say, I'm typing, and all of a sudden I hit some weird buttons, and it's like, I don't even know what I did. Something's not right.
Right.
If you click back or backspace, I think I clicked backspace. Let me try again. Backspace. Oh, that didn't do it. Well, I don't click back. If you click back, usually that will do it. It won't save anything. All right, so you can't mess it up. See, that's a case where if you start feeling like, oh, no, I just screwed something up, just go back. And now we've lost it. Because now when I go to View Draft, all that junk I put in under Johnny's name, it won't be there.
Okay.
And so that's sort of a safeguard. But the disadvantage is, like I said, sometimes that backspace button, I've been typing and I'll work for 10 minutes and I accidentally hit that.
Yeah.
And I lost all my work. So that, I don't know why it does that, but just be aware of it. Sometimes that will do that, although it didn't do it that time. Okay. So View Publish is what you see on the Internet. View draft is what you just did. Edit means I can go in and fix things. Okay, now you have a new button too, which is called moderate, which means I can see what's going on. So if I click for this particular page, if I click on moderate, then what I see is that the last thing that was done on this page is Alicia Rollins edited the page. She said she added Johnny Anderson's contact information. The person who did it before that was Lucas Miner in Git, because he's another key holder. He changed his phone number. Okay, I already know that. He didn't type it in. But so that's how it works. And then you can change your mind if you wanted to, and you can say, actually, I'm not ready for them to look at it, so I'm going to make it a draft and say apply. This is just you also could do it through the edit page mode. Or I could say, no, I'm ready for them to review it, and then hit reply. See, since you only have one option, it only shows you one.
Well, that's
yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So then, I'm going to change it back to needs review. I think I did. There it goes. I'm going to use the back button and just go back a little bit so I can get to where it was. So now let me show you what I see. And this is just more as an FYI. And I move this over here so it shows up on the video. What I see is when I click on needs review, I will see the same moderate page that you saw, and except now it tells me that 26 seconds ago Alicia Rollins submitted a page. We'll probably do this once a day. We'll log in at the end of the day.
Check it out.
Yeah, and so I say, oh, okay, what did she do? So I'm going to click on the page that you just worked on. Okay. I could click on View Draft, but the problem is when I click on View Draft, I'll go ahead and do it. Imagine, there's 100 names. I don't know. How am I going to know who you added? So that's why that little, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Moderate, just like you did. And that's why that text that you wrote, where you said I changed Johnny's name right there, that's crucial information for us. Because now we know. Yeah, we wouldn't know what you fixed. You could just literally fix a typo and we'd never know.
Okay.
We have an option that you don't, which is publish.
And that's what you're
so then we could say, I'm going to publish it, and I hit apply. Okay, and now on the internet, we have a new staff member that says Johnny. And you can't do that, only we can do that.
Good.
So you can't mess it up. The other part about not messing it up that's nice is we can always revert. So if something did go completely haywire, like all of a sudden we have, bouncing kittens on our website, like where did these show up?
Yeah.
We can always just go back in time. So you don't need to be too scared of like, oh, I'm going to mess something up.
Yeah.
It's not going to, you can't. All right, so now I've got Johnny on there, okay, and this, I don't know why I do this. Let me just go back. And I'm going to take Johnny off. Okay. So there's Johnny. I'm actually going to do it through you. So I'm going to go back to you here. So if I go view publish now on this is your page right here. Okay. If I go view publish, let's see if he shows up now. He should. Good job, Johnny. Yep, there he is. Okay. So now he actually decided he doesn't want the job anymore. Okay.
You create a new draft, even though the information.
Yeah, see and that's the thing. You have to. The language is funky because you and I think edit, but they call it draft.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Go in there, it's a new draft.
Yeah, it's a new draft. It's not like you're creating a new page.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll never. Yeah, you're just think of draft as editing. That's all it is. So when you say new draft, it's just like I'm just editing it. So I'm going to take. Well, actually, I'm going to leave Johnny on because I'm going to teach you about the next thing, which is making a link. Okay. So if I want, let's say I want to link to Johnny's, let's say the Apple picture. Okay, whatever it is. Maybe it's his resume or I don't know. I want to link to something. I'm going to show you how to make a link. Okay. So here's the apples. And this is how you link to something on the internet. So I'm going to copy that URL. I like to hit Control-C, but you can also right-click and hit copy, either one, okay? So I choose the words or words that I want to be the hyperlink. So let's say I want computer specialist. I want to actually make that a link, okay?
So cool.
You come up here, and now you're going to just go a little bit farther to where you find the globe. with a little chain on it. That's the link button. Do you see where that is?
Yep.
Okay. So once I figure out what word I want linked, I'm going to click on the globe. It's going to pop up with this window. It's going to, and I'll only explain the stuff that you need to worry about. So it's going to put the cursor right where I want it. So now it's completely ready for me to paste it. I could right-click paste, or I can hit Control-V. So there's the picture of the apples. I just pasted in there. You got that?
Yep.
Okay, now the one change, the one little trick that I really would like you to do is the last little, it's a two-step thing before you hit OK. Click Target. Click Target.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next step is under Target, select New Window.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to show you why I want that in just a minute. So I'm going to say OK. It's going to insert a link. I'm going to make a second link for Johnny to the apples picture really quick, but I'm not going to select Target New Window, just so you can see what the difference is.
Okay.
So I'm going to make Johnny a link. So Johnny, make him a link, spill the apples. I'm not going to set the target, so I'll say OK. Okay, so I have two links in there. So I'm going to scroll down. Again, since this is a long page, I could just go over here and scroll down. Okay, so I'm going to say made link from Johnny or something like that. Okay, I'm going to change the moderation state to needs review because I think it's ready to go. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, so I'm going to go view publish because it's, oh wait, you know what, I actually do need to, let me just publish it real quick. Well, actually, maybe it'll work under view drafts. Let's leave view drafts. Okay, so again, the published version is not going to have the links because until I go in and put in the links, see, they're not there. But I think this should work under view drafts. So the first link was Computer Specialist, and it was a new window.
Yeah.
Which means that when I click on it, it should pop up in a new window. Let's see if that works. See how it pops up right there? So it doesn't take people off our site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second link, I forgot to do that. I didn't adjust the target. And what it should do is it should take us to apples right here, and we'll lose the site. Oh, that's what should happen.
You don't want.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world, but now people are off our site. And so now I got to go back. Right. So it's a courtesy to keep them on our site, and it's also to our benefit to keep them on our site. Okay, so do you see how to make a link?
Yep.
All right, well, let me show you a new thing here. All right.
The only way I'm going to get this
It's
is by doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so now we're going to make a, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to go back, and we're going to go to the employment page. So we're going to look at something else. So before I do that, let me clean up Johnny's thing. So I'm going to go About Us, Staff. Am I logged in as you? No. There I am. Okay. So I'm going to edit. So I'm going to get rid of Johnny. Okay. So the same thing, like I told you with let me show you how to get rid of a hyperlink. Okay. You can right-click on a word. Let me try again. Right-click on a word and go Edit Link. You could unlink. Now Johnny's not a link anymore. So I could right-click on Computer Specialist and unlink. And now he's not a link. Okay. Remember what I said about how, like the bolded thing, how you put the cursor in the middle? So I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't want to mess with this at all. I don't want to mess with that word. I only just wanted to edit Johnny. So since I want to get rid of Johnny now, I'm not going to highlight all that and hit delete.
You're not.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play around in the middle. Again, this is the safe way of doing it. Stay in the middle. Don't delete around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the middle. Okay, and now I'll just delete all the way to the G. Okay, and then I could backspace to the J. And now I know I'm safe. Remember that? It was sort of like the Word version I said. If you come in here and you delete in here, like if I delete this,
yeah,
we don't know for sure that it's going to treat, you could accidentally end up deleting one of these things, and you don't want to do that. Because right after that E is a thing that you can't see. So to be safe, what you want to do is you want to just play around the edges. So I come in here and I would delete all the way to the R and then press once for the R and press delete for the E. And that way I know I kept the thing on the edges that you can't see. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh. I think this is going to help me in NeoGov as well.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And we do that. We in communications do that a lot, even in Word with bulleted lists. And there's things that get funky.
Yeah, bullets.
Right.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Is that you end up deleting things on the edges that you can't even see that are screwing up your formatting. So it's the same thing in stay in the middle and play in the middle and don't go around the edges. So I'm not going to, same thing with Gary right here. I'm not going to delete anything after Gary's name here. I mean, it's not going to do it. And in fact, even if I was going to add somebody after Gary,
yeah,
the safe way of doing it is to copy Gary. So you can hit Control-C, or actually you don't even need to copy Gary. The safe way of doing it is just to literally go in between, play in the middle, and then I could retype Gary's information up here, and then retype the new person information here, and then come in here and carefully delete this stuff, just to be safe.
Yes. No.
90% of the time you can delete stuff normally, but I'm just telling you from my experience, you'll save yourself a lot of grief.
It's the same thing in NeoGov. I would have known this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple other things, just so you know, errant buttons that you could hit that you'd be like, what just happened? Okay. First of all, let me make sure I did delete Tony. Okay. The only boxes you should worry about are
question.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. So when you deleted him, then did you have to go back down and save?
I haven't saved it yet, but I will.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing, so you're messing around the big box, right, up here to do edits, and then the revision log, tell us what you did, and the moderation state. But there's a couple buttons here that may throw you off. So just so you know, if you accidentally click that, that's what this looks like. Then you see, remember all the coding stuff I showed you? All that this is all the stuff you can't see. So let me find Gary's name real quick. Oh, let's say Don. Here's Don Bennett. Okay? That's his name, Don Bennett. And look at all the stuff around his name. B-R-P, P-A-A. So that's why I say stay in the middle. If I wanted to delete Don Bennett, I would put the cursor right in the middle of his name and carefully delete around it. That's why. Because you might accidentally delete one of those little things around it. And that's what's happening in Microsoft Word too, and NeoGov, and every place. Is that you're accidentally probably deleting things. Okay. So anyway, if you open a page and it looks like this, chances are this button's clicked. It's just disable, enable rich text. Chances. So just be aware. If you're really freaked out, just go back, right? Just hit back. It's not going to save. And then come get me. You can also have the same sort of look where it says text format. You can do the same thing in here. You can change these different looks, and it changes the way it looks. You shouldn't do that though. I'm just showing you this in case you accidentally hit it. The default should be disable and full HTML, and that's the way it should look. But if you end up accidentally hitting it, it's not like you've changed anything. It just changes the look. You can always change it back.
What's the default?
Disable, and it should say disable in blue and full under text, full HTML under text format.
Okay.
So I got it?
Yep.
All right, so I just want to put Johnny, say current needs review, save it. Okay, and I'm going to come over here and make sure we publish that. Okay, so
on your name.
Yeah, because it's under view published right now. Johnny still shows up, I bet. Let me just make sure. Yeah, so there he is. So now I'm going to pretend like we're the webmaster. So I go needs review. And I know what you just did. It was 19 seconds ago. So look here. And moderate. And again, this is, you never have to do this stuff, just us.
This is going to be fun. So
Yeah.
This is what you do?
Well, part of it. A small part.
Yeah.
I mean, just, yeah, the website is right now we're doing a lot. I'm spending, like, this is what I'm doing all day is the web stuff, but a small part of what I do, yeah. So let's just make sure this works now. So when Johnny should be gone when I click on view published again. Yeah, he's gone.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now what we're going to do is we have a new job
Posting.
that we want to post.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go to About Us and we're going to go to Employment. Okay. So here's our employment page. It needs some work. There's some formatting I want to do. But it says, right now I have a chart that says position type and opening, exempt, none at this time, classified, none at this time, temporary. There's no jobs, right? But let's say there is an exempt job. And let's say I have created the job posting right here. Let's pretend this is my job posting. Okay. So here's the first thing, is that you're probably going to create it in Word, probably, right? Job postings are in Word.
Yeah.
Wherever, no matter what they are, you're going to end up probably in most cases saving it as a PDF. Sometimes you'll save things as Word, and you can do that. But I'm going to talk about it as PDF because I think that's going to happen more often than not.
Okay.
So here's my job posting for the new admin assistant. Okay. So you go File, Save As. So I'm in Word. I'm going to go File, Save As. And I like to save it to my desktop. You're just saving it into a temporary place. I like the desktop because I can easily find it and delete it.
Right. But
you can do it wherever you want. Because we're not deleting the Word version. We're just creating a copy of it. Okay. So for the sake of the Internet. So I'm going to save it to my desktop. And now, I change where it says Save as Type. We're going to, down here, you can actually select PDF.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever done that?
Yep.
Okay. Now here's what's new. Okay. The format of the file name is important, and it's got to be. Actually, let me just get out of it for a sec so I can show you. Type it. It's easier. Okay. So here's how we're going to name files. We're going to say year, period, month, period, day, period, and then subject. Period, subject, you can have as many periods as you want. So this file name, this is how I'll probably name it. I'm going to call this the 2014 02 10 admin period assistant period posting. That's how I'm going to name this one. Does that make sense?
Yep, it sure does.
Okay. So now I bet when I go File, Save As, it'll keep that on top. Let's see. But, no, it did not. All right. So I've got it saved in the right place. I'm going to save it as a PDF. I'm going to save it as 2014-02 10 period admin assistant posting. However you can name it whatever you want, as long as you have a year, month, date thing going on. Save.
That's the making condition no matter what.
Yes, no matter what. In most cases, there are some exceptions, but in most cases, that's it. Okay, so I've got the PDF ready to go. Now I need to get it on the Internet, all right?
Yeah.
So I'm at my employment page right here.
Yeah.
I want to put under classified admin assistant closing February 10th. I'm going to type it right there. And I want to link where it says admin assistant. I want it to link to the PDF I just made. Okay, so new draft, which basically means I want to edit this page.
Yep.
Okay? Looks very different. You know, when you go to, the table looks different. When you go to edit draft, like I'm just going to pull it up here so we can see it. It's very different in here. So really, but you're only really interested in the words anyway. So I don't really like that, doing this, putting weird things in there. All right. So I have a new classified position. Again, I'm gonna play in the middle. You can delete it, but just to be safe, right? I'm gonna put the cursor right here. I'm gonna delete the end. I'm gonna say new admin assistant position closes February 20th. I'm going to delete all the way through the E in time. That's it. That's it. All right, now I need to make that. I want this. You can choose whatever words you want, but I'm just going to choose that. It's not like.
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Click on the, go up here, find the globe with the little link.
Yep.
Click on that. All right. So I showed you how to copy paste the URL, but now we're actually putting a file on.
Yeah, we are.
So this is some new steps, and hopefully, again, the video records, because
Okay.
this is going to be good for you to watch again. So browse server, step 1.
Okay.
So you click browse server, that's the first step. And I'll go slow so you can write this down. You'll probably end up doing this quite a bit.
Okay.
Okay? And it pops up with this new stuff. You don't have to worry about that. Next step. Click upload in the top left corner. Okay. So I click that once. Then, I don't know why you have to do this. Next, third step, click browse. You think that it would take you right there, but it doesn't. Okay. Click browse. Now it opens up to my, that's why I like desktop, but you can choose any place you want. Wherever you saved it, you sort of navigate to where you saved it. I know I saved it here, so I'm just going to find it. I think I saved it 2014, 0210, admin assistant posting. There it is. Okay.
Because you click on your desktop.
Yeah, yeah, and you could save it where I could locate anything if I wanted to, but it just happens to go to right to my desktop. So I click once on the file until it shows up in the file name.
Yep.
Okay, and I hit open. I don't really understand open, but not really opening it.
Okay.
Okay, next step, what step are we on, 6 or 5?
7.
Okay, so I told the computer, here's the file I want.
Yep.
Next step, click upload. Now they actually have, the computer has to pull that file up from this desk to the internet.
Yeah.
So I'm saying take that thing and upload it. Okay?
Okay.
And it does its thinking. And you know it works because then it puts a blue bar over the file it just uploaded.
Okay.
Are you ready for the next step? You
Yeah.
click upload. Next step, click up here, the far right button, insert file. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Then now it's taken me back to this original page.
Okay.
So now, to be nice to us, I want you to do the target thing.
Yeah.
If you forget, it's not the end of the world, but it is nice to have it pop up in a separate window. So I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to hit target, and I'm going to hit new window. Just like the last time we did that. Do you see how I did that?
Yep.
Okay, and then I hit OK. So now when I take my cursor off it, it turned it blue. That's now a link. So we're going to test it. Okay? So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say,
this would be nice for the applicant because then they'll still stay on our page.
Yeah.
And they'll have the job open
Yep.
in another window.
Added a link to admin posting. Okay. And I think this is ready for communications to look at. So I'm going to say it needs review. Save it. Okay. And now what I want to do is, see, I'm viewing draft. If I view published, it shouldn't be there. Just make sure. Nope, it's not there. If I view draft, Okay, the new admin assistant position closed February 20. Now when I click on that, if it worked, it should open up a new window and I should see that Word document. There's the new window, there's the Word document.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and there's the PDF and somebody could print it or save it. So it's working. Okay.
All in PDF, and we selected that.
Yeah.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to show you one more time another PDF real quick? Would it help?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just make another one real quick. So I'm going to call. I'll do the whole thing. So save as desktop. I'm going to go quicker though here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to save it as a PDF. I'm going to call this 2014 0210 second job. There it is. Okay, I don't need it open, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back to my internet.
Already saved it on your desktop in a PDF.
Yep. So now I need to edit this. Now let's say, here is our second job. And I want that to be the link. So I'm going to highlight second job. I'm going to make it a link. I need to upload it, so I need to browse the server. Now I'm going to go through all those 7 steps you wrote down. So upload, because I need to get it up there. So upload. It's asking me, what do you want to upload? So I got to hit browse. I need to find the file that I want to upload.
Automatically on your desktop.
Yeah, so that works out well. It doesn't always work out like that. So the second job. Oh, there it is. Oh, I didn't put a period in there. That's okay. Well, actually, I do want to fix that because it might make it harder for me to find because I want to delete it later. So let me just fix the file name real quick. Right here. I forgot to put a period after that 14.
You just put rename on there and edit the period.
Yeah, I just edited it real quick because otherwise it would be hard for me to find it and it will screw up the.
That's why you have the name and convention.
Yeah, because it makes it easy for things for me to find it. Okay, so now I have it saved right. So now browse 2014 02 second job. Open, upload it. Should put a blue bar. Put the blue bar, insert the file. Basically means make the link. And then I just had this minimized. That's why I didn't see it. Okay, so then it pops back into this. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to make it a new window. Say okay. Okay, and I click off it. It should be blue. It looks like it's blue. It's ready to be reviewed. Save. And okay, so there it is. Here's our second job. Let's make sure that opens up. See it open up.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked. Okay.
Okay.
So now, again, you can click on moderate and see what you've done. That's just going to show all the edits. But now I'm going to edit the draft, and I'm going to take off the second job because it just closed. So I'm going to right-click, unlink, and then I could just say none at this time, and just delete everything I consider to be. There's no more jobs. Put a period. And then this job is done too. So I right-click, unlink, and I'll just stay in the middle. None at this time, and then just delete up until the 0. Good.
Okay.
If they misspelled something, I can fix it right here. So basic misspellings, all that kind of stuff. And then this is ready, so save. Okay, and then I need to show you one more thing.
Okay.
So here is, let's say I need to make a change to an existing PDF. There's an existing PDF right here. It says affirmative action, data sheet. Okay? So here's the steps you need to do, and this I would write down for an existing PDF. So let's pretend, for the sake of example, this is the new affirmative action form. Okay? So this is the affirmative action form. But we have one on here already that I need to replace. So when I click on affirmative action, see it has this PDF right here.
Yeah.
In fact, I need to put our new logo on here. I need to fix this stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do that.
Okay.
Okay. And it's the same steps, except we're adding some steps at the beginning. And so I'm going to just tell you what the beginning steps are. and then we kick back into the whole uploading a PDF part. So the key thing is, what we're going to try to accomplish is I need this new form to have exactly the same file name as this. That's what you want. That's what you need to accomplish. There's two ways of doing it.
Okay.
I could go File, Save As in Word. This is not the way I do it, but you could. And just try to make sure I type this exactly. Affirmative dash data sheet. I mean, I could do that. This is the way I like to do it.
Okay.
What I like to do is I like to take the old form, there it is, and I like to save it. So I go Save Page As, and I save it to my desktop. So I have the old form now saved on my desktop. That's step one. Save the old form to your desktop. And then step two, and the final step, is save over your old form. So what I'm going to do now, here's my new form. Let's pretend this Word document's my new form. Okay? I'm going to go File, Save As. Go to my desktop. I'm going to make sure, save it as a PDF. And I'm going to save over my the one I just saved, which was affirmative action.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Is that it? Oh, yeah, the data sheet 23. That is it. And I just hit save. I just completely, do you want to replace it? Yes.
Yes.
See, now that's the new data sheet. Now I just can go upload it, just like in the steps we just did, and it'll completely replace that file.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I think that's it. I think we've covered it.
Wow, Aaron. Okay.
Is that how do you feel?
I'm excited to practice it,
Okay.
and I'm only going to get good by doing this over and over again.
Yep.
Which I have a few days before
Okay.
it goes live, right?
Yep. Are there any jobs out right now?
Yes. There's a program coordinator.
I'll tell you what would be fantastic is to put that up on this.
Okay.
Do just what we did. Open it in Word, save it as a PDF, type what it is, make a link to it. That would be great.
The only thing is it's in NeoGov, but I think...
Well, you can link to the URL then.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, you don't remember, just like I showed you the first time. Open up the URL where the job is, and then paste it, and then just do an easy link. Don't upload the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, that's even easier. PDFs are harder because you remember the 7 steps.
I know. Yeah.
But if you can just link to something that's already created, then that's easier.
Okay.
And then so I would say something to try this week is create a link to the NeoGov and then put your name in the staff directory.
I like it.
And see if you can do those and let me know. One other thing I forgot to tell you. We have what's called a Webmaster email. When people want to make changes to the website, the way they do it is they email Webmaster at wasatch.gov.
Okay.
All 4 communications people see that email.
Okay.
And the reason why we do that is because that way, if I'm sick, somebody else can, and they have to actually spell out what they want. So they would have to say, on the employment page, under classified, please type this and please link to that. They give us instructions.
Okay.
You're not going to do that because you're going to make the changes yourself. But what I do want you to do is I want you to when you make a change, email Webmaster and say, pages need review, just 3 words in the subject line. That tells us to go to log in and click on this needs review button, because otherwise we may miss it. You know what I mean?
Did you say web page needs review?
Yeah, just something quick. Just pages need review or pages ready to be reviewed, something short, just to let us know that, hey, I've made some changes. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
After I do all of it.
Yeah, so like today, once you put, I think a good easy one to start with is put in your name.
Yeah, let's try my name.
Put in your name and then send an email to Webmaster saying page needs review.
Okay.
And then once you get that done, and I'll let you know, we email back, so we'll say done. And then once that's done, let's try to add the posting to that position.
I'm a little overwhelmed and I too much, but
yeah. So I'm gonna hopefully the video works, and I'm gonna send you the link to the video, and then you can actually scroll the video and get the parts you want to listen to again.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for trying to take this on. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully this works. We will see. All right, see you, Alicia.
Yeah, if your door's open, I can borrow you. If it's not, leave it alone.
Oh, no, you can always talk.